You're listening to a download from the outdoorstation.co.uk. Number 564.
Hello everyone, and welcome once again to a podcast on the Outdoors Station. Now I know what you're thinking, and it's perfectly fair. We don't hear from Bob for over a year. And then all of a sudden there's 2 podcasts within a week. What is going on? Well, let me explain. Hopefully you will have known that I was up at the National Outdoor Expo at the NEC, which took place this weekend just gone. Yesterday as it happens, as today is Monday, and I wanted to get this recorded ASAP. And hopefully it'll all become clear. Now, the live stream was sponsored by Valley and Peak online store, which many people will know is a fantastic, family-owned, very personable online store who is passionate about providing the right equipment for outdoor activities. And it was down to them that I was able to do the live stream and get the team in. And without them it wouldn't have happened. So I do hope that everybody has enjoyed the live stream, the content, the videos, and obviously everything else that comes from it. But it's a personal thank you for being the sponsor. Now, the preparation that it takes to organise a live stream, aside from the technical, is a lot of administration, as people may or may not guess. There's a lot of communication with the potential interviewees that I approach, and there's usually a bit of email ping pong. Sometimes people take a long while to get back to you because they're very, very busy, and other times they just don't see the email. So it's hard to get the ball rolling and agree that people are going to take part. Anyway, the long and the short of it in preparing for something like a live stream is I negotiated with most of the people that I spoke to a discount code purely for fans, viewers, listeners to the Outdoor Station. Now, that is one of the main reasons I wanted to get this recorded ASAP, because a lot of those discount codes only last until the end of the week. That is the week following the National Outdoor Expo. And so I'm going to go quickly through those now as best I can, because they're all offering something slightly different, and it may be of interest to you guys if you're considering at the moment your next outdoors equipment purchase. There's no affiliate for me. I'm not getting anything out of this. This is purely for my listener and viewer base. And I've been really pleased so far that it did have quite a good following. We had actually people watching from Japan, from New Zealand, from Nepal, and down south in Cornwall. So there was a fair spread of people that sent a note to say they were watching from those different places, which was great to see. So I just hope that obviously there were quite a few other people that were being a bit more shy, shall we say, while they sat there with their cup of coffee or tea or whatever it may be. A plate of toast. That would have been nice, actually, a plate of toast. A plate of toast, watching the stream on the big screen. So, if you want more detail about the various people I've spoken to, you need to go to the Outdoor Station YouTube channel. And if you want to sit through the 4.5 hour live stream, it's there in its entirety with all the details. But I've also released today, it's taken me a day to chop up all the recordings so that each individual person that I spoke to has their own little short video clip, and I'll be passing the details on to each brand and retailer or business tomorrow. That's tomorrow's job. But today's job was to chop up the recording, and so it is condensed down. So if you want to look at, for example, the interview relating to Terra Nova equipment and the Valiant Peak promo codes, etc., there's one interview for that. If you want to view the water filtration, watertogo system, there's a short interview there. So it's more condensed down. So rather than sit through 4.5 hours, you can just spend 10 minutes watching that particular video. So I would hope that if any of these things interest you, you actually follow it through and go and have a look. And do give me some feedback if you would as well. I mean, I hope content is of interest and gives you an idea of what went on at the show. It may be that you couldn't attend, you're too far away, and all the practical things like that. Or as one person wrote a note saying that actually they went to the show on the Saturday and they spent all the time listening to the talks, but they didn't actually look around the event very much. So they found that the live stream on the Sunday when they stayed at home was actually quite informative, which was another way to look at it, something I hadn't really considered. But from my point of view, doing a live stream for that length of time, it's really, really exhausting, mentally challenging. Not only, obviously, do you have to sort of get up and get going at a ridiculous time in the morning, there's also the mental stress of, will the technology work? Because it is live and things will go wrong. And on the last 2 or 3 live streams that I've done in different guises, literally you're about to go live and a cable starts playing up and giving you a bad signal. It's ever so stressful. So I didn't sleep well the night beforehand because I was thinking of every single part of the chain that could break. But in the end, it all went perfectly, which is, well, that happens all the time, of course. Preparation and planning. Was it the 7 Ps? Proper preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance. Exactly. So I do tend to overplan when it comes to something like that. Anyway, so my time at the show was interesting. I mean, you certainly got there early enough, obviously, before the doors opened, got all set up, got going, got talking to Jim from Valiant Peak and Jessica as well, and liaised with them, worked out what we were doing, how we were doing it. And literally over the first hour or so, that really started to fill up fairly rapidly. And I think there were some big names on the stages doing some various talks or whatever. So I think that drew the crowds in. And after that, then just trying to maneuver your way through the crowds, trying on shoes and rucksacks and looking at all the gear and etc. was, practically, it just slows you down. But I do hope we put across the atmosphere in the exhibition, and certainly it was nice to be mixing again amongst people who were passionate about the outdoors. It was also really, really nice to see so many new companies as well. And one particular person I spoke to that's actually following this introduction on the podcast has only been going 6 weeks, and her passion and enthusiasm and the feedback she was getting was really, really good. So that was really positive. And there were 2 or 3 other people I spoke to which I hadn't heard of before, brands I hadn't heard of, and it was great to see them doing well as well. It was also nice. I was stopped by a couple of people that said they enjoyed the podcast and they'd been listening to me again and welcome back and all this sort of thing. And it was really lovely to speak to somebody and get that direct feedback. It always makes you feel a little bit nervous. I'm not too sure what to say, but I do appreciate it. And if you were one of those people, thank you very much indeed for taking the time. It really did give me a boost at a point where I think I was on my knees as regards trying to keep these interesting conversations going and questions going with these interviews. So let me conclude this introduction by telling you about some of the discounts. Okay, so what I need to do now is just go through the list of some of the companies that have taken on board the discount code. The discount code has different values, and you may need to put something in the basket and see what it is for the company concerned. But the main discount code is Valiant Peak, and that's anything on their website for the next week is 10%. So there's a 10% discount on anything at all across the board. Now, the discount code is the same for everybody, which is TOS24, the outdoor station, TOS24. And let me just run through some of the people that have very kindly offered a discount to our listeners, or my listeners and viewers. So Valley and Peak, for sure. Then we have Sierradesigns, that's the rucksack, and that's obviously includes the flex capacitor. The Sierradesigns is through Valley and Peak, so you can look at those there. Then we have watertogo.eu, and they do a water filtration system, and they've got a very generous discount on theirs. I don't want to say exactly what it is because I don't want to get it wrong, but it's more than 10%, and that again is on for another week. Then the guys, if you're into pack rafting, then presumably you'll know the company Paqualife. Johnny and Gina there at Paqualife, they're also running the same discount code, TOS24. I think it's on everything on their website. As you can imagine, I've had a lot of conversations, and to be honest, I'm still exhausted from the weekend, so I'm a little bit blurry on exact values. But if I can mention these to you now as listeners, knowing that you have got 3 or 4 days, hopefully, to look at the websites and make a purchase, then that would be great. And as I say, there is no affiliate cashback payback for me at all. It is purely for you guys. Now, the new company that is interviewed on this podcast is Morsel Adventures. And Ola from Morsel Adventures is producing vegan and vegetarian jerky and snacks. And she's only been going 6 weeks. She had, I think, 400 odd packs on the website, on her stand, which is a little 2x2 stand. And when I spoke to her Sunday morning, she only had about 30 or 40 left. They're that popular. And I have to say, the taste is brilliant. So if you know of somebody who's a vegan or vegetarian, really give her some support. Again, all the websites and details are on the video clips on the Outdoor Station website. On the Outdoor Station YouTube channel, and I'll also put them all as obviously in the show notes to go along with this podcast as well. But I know what it's like. Sometimes you don't look at show notes. It's easier perhaps to do it straight on the YouTube channel. So anyway, Ola's doing a discount as well, and that's to the end of March. Cicerone Press, they're doing the same discount code, TOS24, and they are offering 20% across the board on any Cicerone product, books and the maps and whatever it is they do, and that's to the end of the year, which is phenomenal. Now, Wild Moose is somebody I spoke to at the running show, and she was at the show again at the weekend yesterday, Rachel, and she has got the what do they call the beach robes, and she was doing £40 off her beach robes, and again the discount code TOS24 is lasting until the end of the week. So that is the range. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 companies there who are giving a good discount of 10% or more to listeners, viewers of the Outdoor Station. Isn't that fantastic? And I want to thank all the companies that have agreed to do that. That's really, really good of them. And I really hope that is of interest to you guys. And if you guys do buy something, I'm curious to know what sort of numbers of people do take these offers up. So, one person that I just ran out of time to speak to that is also on the discount code list is David Overton, who runs splashmaps.com, splash-maps.com. And he's got a really unique product. He produces maps on material. And this material feels like silk. It's very, very light. It's 100% accurate. And hopefully the conversation that we have will convince you that it's actually real maps he's doing. It's not just a novelty gift. And he's offering 10% discount until the end of May this year. So do check him out and do check out his products. There's a whole range there, and you can find him at splash-maps.com. The other person that I couldn't get on the live stream just because of time again is Paul Hayward from Grand Trunk, and they talk about a few products that if you have purchased A-Light chairs in the past and wondered what happened to A-Light because they suddenly disappeared, he'll give you an explanation there. I speak to Ola, who's the girl I mentioned about the morsel adventures, the vegan snacks. She's Polish, by the way, and I cannot risk trying to pronounce her surname. It's got far too many syllables in it, and I'll only get it wrong. So Ola, I do apologise on that score, but your products are still great. So we get a bit more of a backstory with Ola, and she's on the live stream. So if you want to see her, do have a look on the Outdoor Station YouTube channel. And the final conversation is something that I really feel quite passionate about now, actually, which is Jennifer Dixon from Outdoor Gear for Good. And what she's doing is taking people's outdoor clothes and material-based accessories, bags, whatever, rucksacks and that sort of stuff, and she's either recycling them and making them into another item of use, or she's refurbishing them and selling them, and all the money, 100% of the money, is going to the Youth Adventure Trust. And she runs two companies. She's got Outdoor Gear for Good, which she sort of got volunteered into, I get the feeling. And she also runs Dirt Bag Climbing, or Dirt Bags Climbing. And that's where she's recycling climbing equipment into trendy bags and that sort of stuff. But I think in this day and age at the moment, particularly when you're at the outdoor show and people are spending money buying new toys, new kit, new clothing, new gear, whatever, you know, we've all got cupboards full of old stuff that we sort of have relationships with because they've been on adventures with us. But in reality, as Jennifer was saying, in reality, you know, sometimes to get young people doing Duke of Edinburgh, you never know whether they're going to take it up seriously. So would you want to spend £300 on a jacket if they're just going to do it for 2 days on a Duke of Edinburgh and then never wear it again? So that's what she's doing with Outdoor Gear for Good, because the price of the stuff that she was selling was very, very affordable. So it's great to see young people are being able to afford to come into the outdoors and give it a try. But she's got a whole range of products for all ages and all sizes, and I think it's just brilliant. So I really want to support her. So have a look in your cupboard. If you've got some items that you think, well, you know, that's out of fashion now or whatever, and it's still perfectly usable, but you've replaced it with something new, then do consider donating it to Jennifer's Outdoor Gear for Good. Again, all the links will be on the show notes, as well as they're on the Outdoor Station website, and they're also on the Outdoor Station YouTube channel. So if you forget the names I'm talking about, then just scan down the links, and hopefully, you know, you can pass your gear on to somebody who can really make some good use of it. Okay, so that's enough waffle and enough introduction from me. It was fabulous to see everybody at the show. I do hope you enjoy these interviews, and drop me a line and let me know if you've taken up any of the offers on the discounts. So, my first interview was with David Orton from splash-maps.com about his fascinating material-based maps.
Well, splash maps are the best maps that your money can buy. So we've got the best map providers, Ordnance Survey, Michelin, HarperCollins, you name them, they're there. We've got our own styles as well, based upon OpenStreetMap, which gives us world coverage. So what Splash Maps does for you is you can get a map anywhere on the planet at least 2 different scales, and we'll print it onto a fabric, which is a hardy performance outdoor durable fabric similar to those used in high performance outerwear like Paramar jackets, that sort of thing. So breathable, washable, wearable, and most importantly, weatherproof, unlike paper.
I mean, in some respects, when you actually touch it, it feels like silk.
Yeah, that's intentional. So I was inspired by escape innovation maps from the Second World War, where they did use parachute silk.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
So we were always looking for a familiar fabric, and the important thing about this fabric, which is a polyester, is that it won't stretch. So you can see I'm stretching it now. I mean, you can see it, but the listeners can't. I'm stretching it, but you can see that it won't stretch. Putting quite a lot of force on that, and it won't stretch. So it's printed true to scale, or my reputation as a former employee of Ordnance Survey is completely wrecked, least of all their innovation manager. So it won't stretch, and as I say, it's very difficult to destroy this. We over-edge stitch it, which prevents it from fraying. And as we were discussing earlier on, we've had customers who've come here who bought from us in our early days 12 years ago, and they still use the same maps.
It's a fascinating addition to mapping. I mean, we are surrounded by outdoors people, and I love maps. Maps tell you an awful lot of things. And taking this a stage further and putting it onto material, I'm instantly thinking, okay, is it more directed, or the customers, are they more sort of fabric people, as in they're using the fabric for something, or are we talking about outdoor people who have got fed up with that battle to fold up a OS map or whatever it may be and get it into the pocket and so on? Whereas, I mean, you're holding a complete OS map there in your hand, and it's the size of just a bit bigger than a matchbox when it's folded down, isn't it? I mean, it is remarkably small.
Yeah, I mean, it's the size that we've gone for is deliberately done. So partly that you can fit 2 maps on a width of roll of the fabric that we use. But most importantly, it's that it works as a bandana size as well. So you can actually tie this up, and you can wrap it around your neck or over your head. It doubles up as headwear if you want to keep the sun off your head, or if you want to keep the rain off your head. It works brilliantly for those things. It's also good, I mean, we sell these to the Special Forces now, and we're told that they get used as tourniquets, they get used as temporary bandages. There's multiple uses that you can have for your map once it's made out of fabric.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the philosophy of lightweight adventuring or camping or whatever it may be, is to have 2 uses for everything. And the fact that you can do that is phenomenal. I see you've got it as a buff. You've also got it on your waistcoat as well. Yeah. So people have taken the material and done a whole variety of things with them, have they?
That's right, yeah. So we've had people who've been buying our maps and then upholstering things. We've helped people to upholster the insides of their camper vans. So who wouldn't want the headliner to have the whole of the Lake District across the top? You know, it's a beautiful thing. But I think the most important thing about these maps is, and you brought up the point, everyone who uses a paper map hates folding it, right? We've had military people here at the stand trying to fold a paper map and giving up. They've literally folded on our folds off competition. And the guy that won it still took him 33 seconds to get the map folded in the right position and put back into its plastic container. And he was Special Forces and an elite athlete. So this guy absolutely knew how to do the maps. So with my map, all I have to do to achieve the same thing is just move it a couple of inches across my palm. I don't have to refold anything. And so I really don't know why we got started with paper in the first place, other than its one redeeming quality: it's cheap.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, isn't it?
Yeah.
So environmentally, tell me a bit the environmental story behind the actual products themselves.
Okay, well, we always use a no-waste print process in the first place, so it's not like screen printing where there's a lot of ink that gets wasted in the process, and quite often, if you're not looking at where you're getting your stuff from, that ends up in rivers and stuff. So we use a no-waste process. We've also, for products like our tablecloths, where we can zoom up the image, if you like, a little bit more. On the stand, we've got tablecloths and towels where we can zoom things up. We've got a recycled fabric that's called Splash Tex. That's exclusive to us. We invented it for one of our customers, Lush, who are the soap people.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be surprised, but they love maps.
Right, okay.
And they make maps for a lot of their shops. So that comes from post-consumer drinking bottles, entirely sourced within the EU and recycled within the EU. And as far as we're aware, that is unique, not just in the mapping world, but in the outdoors sector. So we've been trailblazing, small business, but we're always innovating.
Well, that's one thing I've always wanted to celebrate, are the small businesses in the UK trying different things and doing different things. So it's great to see. Now, so as you mentioned, you've got the maps, and you've got its OS size, and you've got the large scale, the 1 to 50, the 1 to 25, tea towels. Any other products that are sort of derivatives of these?
Absolutely. So we now have a relationship whereby we can produce USGS maps of the USA. So if you go onto our map maker on www.splash-maps.com, go to our map maker, and if you squiz your map across to the USA, you'll be asked if you want to have USGS or our international versions. So you have the choice there of 3 different styles and 2 different scales. And in this country, of course, you've got the choice of Ordnance Survey or our international. So you've got 4 choices in this country. Anywhere else in the world, you've got our international style at 1 to 25,000 and 1 to 50,000. So literally you could be doing a walk or a longer distance run, walk, hike, and we've got you covered wherever it is.
Yeah. I mean, do you have a sort of a typical customer that's used these on long distance trips? I mean, it's obviously such a wide-ranging potential with the product. Is there a regular type of customer?
Well, yeah, and it's really the hiker. The hiker is whenever we do questionnaires, and we do them quite regularly, the majority of the people that come back say that they're using it for hiking. The next biggest one is running, and then it's cycling. And I think the cycling one's only behind those ones because people haven't found ways of clipping them onto their bikes, but I've got a solution for that now. So we found the ideal clip, and I'm sure that'll be on our website fairly soon.
Brilliant. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me. The outdoor show, has it been successful for you?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Mostly it's been very heartwarming because so many customers have come back, they've brought their maps. Our customers tend to be very physical people as well, in terms of they send requests to me still written on bits of paper and stuff, and bit maps that are stuck together from their snipped up paper maps, and then I'll make a perfect fabric map for them. So we've had a few of those things here, some lovely get-togethers, and superb with all the scouts that are now using our maps as well, that have come to visit us, each group.
Brilliant, brilliant. So final question then. Obviously you ship all over the world, and all the information is available on the website.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll ship anywhere, and we're exporting to the USA and to Europe on quite a regular basis as well.
So next up is Paul Hayward from Grand Trunk. It's a brand name I hadn't recognised before. However, I did recognise one of the camp chairs that he had on his stand. So naturally, I asked for a little bit of background.
So Grand Trunk was born in Utah, in the States. But the idea was born out of a trip around the world from our founder. Was hanging around in Bali and couldn't find a hammock that made the best amount of sense to him, so decided to make his own.
Sounds fairly straightforward. So are they made in Bali, by no interest?
They're not made in Bali, no. They're a lot of what we do is made in the US, and the quality and the care to the product probably meets the ideals of traveling around the world, knowing that you're carrying really light gear that's durable and going to last your trip.
That sounds perfect to me. So the hammock material, I mean, it feels like silk. It's light, it's very flexible, it's very nice on against the skin as well. What's the sort of criteria? Do you go on trying to reduce weight or trying to reduce the bulk, or what's your sort of intention as you design it?
I think there's always a little bit of both, without pushing the envelope too far so that it's too light but not durable enough. All of the products have a lifetime warranty, which is really important to us as a brand, and should be really important to our consumers as well. The Trunk Tech print hammocks are our own proprietary material, so allows us to put funky patterns on there, but then also the quality of the material is superior. And so that's where we live happiest. That you want to be in the middle of the outdoors, knowing that the kit that you've got will get you there and get you back in great comfort.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and these sort of hammocks are extremely comfortable. I can see the pictures you've got on the stand here are obviously relaxing, chilled type impressions. So hanging between trees, looking at a nice view over Bali or whatever. Do you have any other accessories like tarps and bug nettings and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, all of that. So tarps to keep yourself dry, or for those people who love bushcrafting, it's perfect for those. Mosquitoes, or in this country, if you're on the west coast of Scotland, those midges. Then we've got bivvy shelters with mozzie nets as well. And then we also run a down and a synthetic evolution hammock. So if it's below kind of -10, you can hammock camp outside and it'll keep you nice and warm.
Oh, so that's actually built into the hammock then, the insulation, as opposed to an underquilt?
Yeah, so I didn't know this. This is a learning for me. But you can't add individual elements to hammock camping for it to keep you warm. So effectively you'll freeze underneath, and so actually having it all in one is the best way for you to stay warm, stay comfortable, and remain asleep.
Nice. Obviously got a fairly small stand here today, so I've only surrounded by a couple of items, but not only do you do hammocks, but you do some really nice chilled chairs, which I've seen something like that before, but the design is very comfortable.
Super chilled chairs. Some of your consumers might know a brand called A-Light. Really well known globally for comfortable, lightweight, durable chairs. So Grand Trunk now own the IP for A-Light. So for any of your customers who perhaps have got an A-Light chair that's feeling a little bit tired and worn, you can buy an A-Light chair again. Monarch, Mayfly, really popular chairs for us, and we have a stool as well.
Well, I certainly, as it happens, happen to have one of these A-Light chairs, and I've always wanted the other one to go with it, because at the moment I'm the one that's chilled sitting down there and everybody else is sitting on the ground.
I'm sure we can do you a deal, Rob.
Well, that's lovely. So really the bottom line is, describe to me your customer base, the sort of the ideal person that or the people that you found coming to you at the show here that have really grasped what you're doing and the ethos behind the company.
I think number one is the colours. I think that really grabs people, that they want something that perhaps isn't green or olive or brown. I think that's really important to them. Loads of kids sat in the chairs, so families, grandparents that treat their kids to a holiday in the UK, perhaps through half term or summer holidays. When you've got two parents that work, that's really important. Caravanners, I think the days of stocky classic chairs are gone, and they want something that packs up to the size, like a French baton, and hides underneath, in a cupboard. It's perfect.
Oh, let's face it, those caravan chairs, they're a nightmare, aren't they? They pull out, they look fantastic. You use them once, second time you use them, something breaks. I've had a elderly grandmother that was all right, a little bit on the plump side. Take the armrests off both sides, just trying to get out of them. A nightmare.
Yeah, those days are gone now. You can come and pick up a chair at Grand Trunk from us, online, and we've got you sorted. Which is another thing, that there's a lifetime warranty with all the products as well. No quibbles.
So do check out Grand Trunk's website, grandtrunk.com. Now let's move on to Ola from Morsel Adventures, and she's going to give us a bit of a backstory. Don't forget, she's got a promo code running which is 15% discount until the end of March. She has only been going commercially 6 weeks, so there's got to be a good story there.
So I had that idea for a long time because I studied nutrition in uni Nottingham, and since I left the uni I tried to start it, didn't really work out, didn't really have the money, so I think it was around 4 or 5 years ago it kind of started budding. But only now I just got the guts to try it, and some of the friends said you should do farmer markets with it, and that was 6 weeks ago, and I did, and now I'm here, and it's just great. This is the biggest event that we've done so far, and it's tiring but really, really satisfying.
So it's 6 weeks old. This is a fresh British business started
Yes.
6 weeks ago. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent. So let's now, we've got listeners obviously tuning into this. Tell us about your products and what's the story behind them.
So the jerky came in from us going hiking, and we had some friends that had vegan jerky, the normal jerky, and me being vegan, I really wanted to have something similar, and it started from fixing my problem, and then I started making it, gave it to the friends that had the real jerky, and they really liked it. They said it really tastes similar. So then I came to the farmer market. People loved it there. It was the vegan markets I tried, because lots of the vegan jerkies that are on the market are very brittle. They don't have the same nutritional value as ours. We aimed for something really rich in protein and carbohydrates. Hence, it's a really good hiking snack. And the ones you can get in Sainsbury's are just not the same taste. They just break off very easily. Whereas what we aim for is the structure, the kind of strandy, chewy resemblance of the real jerky.
There's also, I mean, in traditional mass-processed or mass-produced foods, there's an awful lot of heavily processed ingredients, and I presume that's not in yours at all.
That's true. We use all of the vegan products, but we try finding products that have the least processed foods. So like our sauces that we use in the marinades are from organic sources. So we use a company called Biona, and we use vegan Worcestershire sauce as well. It's just something to minimize that kind of amount of artificial additives. And the jerky, the best before date is 3 weeks. For that reason, we want to make it fresh. We want to make it so that people eat it fresh and enjoy it fresh, instead of something that keeps forever and it stays fresh, like a McDonald's burger. We've all seen the videos how it just stays fresh forever, and it's just a bit off-putting to see it looks the same for after like years and years.
The chili jerky, the texture of it, I mean, I make my own jerky, meat jerky, fair enough, but it's got that stringy chewability to it. But yours actually has exactly the same. I mean, it's great. I wouldn't tell the difference, in all honesty.
Nice, that's very nice to hear. Yes, it's the gluten protein in it. So it's made from vital wheat gluten, which is known as seitan, not as the Satan with an A, Satan with EI. It's essentially like bread dough. So we make it as a bread dough, then we braid it to then steam it, shred it, dehydrate it, marinate it and dehydrate it, and that kind of kneading process develops the strands, and that's what you're essentially trying in the jerky, because the strands is essentially the gluten protein that binds the bread together.
Presumably, if you were camping and you took a pack of your jerky with you, and you were perhaps making a pasta sauce or something and wanted to add some spice and that sort of meaty flavour to it, presumably you can just tear it up and drop it into the boiling pan?
You can. It works very well if you fry it. Yeah, it essentially, it fries very nice and hard kind of surface, but inside it's nice and chewy. So we've tried it in some pastas, me and my partner. Yeah, it's just it tastes very nice, and it gives that flavour back to the pasta or whatever dish you're using.
No, I mean, it's a fabulous taste, fabulous flavour. So just give me, I mean, what did you say earlier on? You had, 400 packs, and you must only have about 30 left.
Yes, I think our best seller was the actual spicy one that you've mentioned, the Aleppo chili one, but also surprising to me, the chocolate chili. There were lots of women especially that said, oh, I love the chocolate. So they wanted to get the chocolate, not the jerky. So they went for the jerky because it had chocolate in it. So that was surprising for me, because my favorite flavor is the black pepper and the chili one that you said.
Yeah.
And we only have a few left now.
Well, I'm really pleased with it. It's been such a great show, and it's so nice to have you launching a product here, which has obviously taken people by surprise. I mean, the sort of people that you've had coming to the stand here and talking to you, they've obviously been quite engrossed in what you've been doing.
That's true. We get a lot of variety. Some people say that they like it, but they wouldn't buy it because it tastes like the real thing. I actually had somebody say that, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'll take it as a compliment. I get you don't want to buy it. but I don't know how else to take it. And there are some people that just say, I just buy it because I like vegan jerky and this is the best thing I've ever tried. So there's a lot of good comments. There is some like ups and downs, because there was one person that said they would never try vegan jerky and they just walked off. So there's a lot. There is all sorts essentially. But it's overall really positive.
Yeah, everybody's got their own idea about what is right and so on, haven't they? I mean, and unfortunately, you can be on the receiving end when people have made a decision which actually has got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, that's true. And we're not here to impose. It's just we went for the least resistance, the path of least resistance. It's something that I want, and if people want, they have it.
Well, congratulations once again. So just to let people know, there's 3 flavours, and the flavours are black pepper,
Aleppo chili, which is the spicy one, and chocolate chili. But we're looking into developing more. So if you have any positive comments, or any comments actually, we're happy to take them.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'll give people the details to the website, and hopefully you'll be hearing from them soon.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you very much.
So if you're a vegetarian or vegan, or you have outdoor friends who are both, then do pass on Ola's details to them. I'm sure they will both be happy to make contact with each other. And so finally, let's turn to outdoor gear for good with Jennifer Dickinson. Now, it's a great story. I'm really supportive of this. I'm going to go through my cupboards and I'm going to get some stuff together to send her. And I hope after listening to this, especially if you've bought something new recently, you will do the same.
I was contacted by Richard Leedham, who set the CIC up, and he got together with a group of people within the outdoors. He has contacts within Berghaus and Low Alpine, and he was aware of the overstock that a lot of outdoor brands have and wanted to do something about it. He had an issue with finding a premises to keep all of the stock, and that's where I came in. As I currently run an upcycling workshop in Kendal, so I personally, for my personal brand, we upcycle climbing rope, we upcycle tents and outdoor gear that can't be resold. And I had space upstairs, so I said, if I give you the space, I'll run outdoor gear for good from Kendal. So I took all the stock he had, and now I am the operations manager. So we take in all of the overstock, we take in samples, we take in returns under warranty, which we have sewing machines, so we fix them, and then that makes them good to be sold. And we also take in pre-loved gear, which we re-wash and we fix if needed, and then we sell that, and all the profit goes to the Youth Adventure Trust.
It's such a brilliant idea. I mean, I have to congratulate you on it. Have you still got that other company going then?
Yes, so it's called Dirtbags Climbing, and essentially because we're kind of in the middle of the Lake District, we use old climbing ropes, anything that's safety based that can't be resold because of the safety aspect. So things like life jackets. And harnesses, like climbing harnesses, we will repurpose the textiles, so we stitch it all back together again. We basically unpick it and then we restitch it to rucksacks, climbing chalk bags, duffel bags, things like that. So the two businesses work quite well together, because sometimes we get things donated to Outdoor Gear for Good that we can't resell or we can't fix. So I will then take the fabric over to Dirtbags, and then they'll unpick it and they'll use that fabric. And equally, sometimes people will donate things to Dirtbags Climbing which you can't chop up because it's perfectly fine. So then we donate that to Outdoor Gear for Good, which it means that we have very little waste coming out of it.
What a brilliant concept, and fantastic. So I'm interested in both aspects of your work. So if I'm grasping it correctly, the Dirtbags then is you're taking items that you're not recycling them to be used again in the same original way that they were made, but you're using the fabric in something else which is equally practical and useful, but not necessarily safety based.
Exactly, yeah, exactly what we do. It's end of life products that we get for Dirtbags Climbing. So it is specifically safety based because it has a life and there is an end of life. Dirtbags Climbing also work with Berghaus. They contacted me maybe 2020 and said we have quite a lot of things in our HQ that are just sort of lying around, things like samples and just bits of fabric. And do you want it? So I said, yeah, please send it down. And every so often they send me a big box of fabric and fabric scraps, and we use it. Lovely colours and good quality. fabrics that we use.
Absolutely fantastic. So this particular aspect of the gear for good,
Yes.
that's not been going very long.
No, so I took over I was about to have a baby as I took it over. So yeah, it was 2022. I took it over, and we're not been going very long, but it's very clear to me that there is a need for cheaper outdoor gear and a need for people to pass on their outdoor gear. Especially today, I've spoken to lots and lots of people, and they've said, "Oh, I wish I'd have brought this," or "I've bought something new and I don't want to get rid of the old one. Can I send it to you?" So I've made loads of good connections today with people who are very, very keen to donate their old outdoor gear.
Outdoor gear, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. You were talking earlier on about the wetsuits. There's children's wetsuits, just like everything else child-based. They grow out of them within seconds. Then you've got the overstocked items like the gloves from Low Alpine. Then we have trousers of different shapes and sizes. On the other rack, we've got technical fabric tees, waterproof jackets, and looks like bags for life as well. A whole variety of things. So if you've taken over in, what did you say, 22, what sort of volume, how many items are you moving and selling each week or month? Just roughly, just to give an idea of whether, if you're really well known and popular is what I'm trying to grasp.
Well, let me figure out. I go to we have the delivery man come twice a week, and he takes quite a few. A lot of what we've been selling recently are Osprey rucksacks, so we maybe sell about 10 to 20 a week of those. And they go really well because they're quite expensive to buy new.
Yeah.
And if somebody is wanting to start hiking, especially we have a lot of sales from people that are doing Duke of Edinburgh. And if you're wanting to sort of dip your toe into something like that and you don't know if you're going to like it, it's a lot of money to spend on a new bag or a new kit. So having something cheaper that if you don't like it, you can just sell again, or you can donate back to us, and it sort of keeps it all in circulation. That's what I want.
Well, I'm full of admiration for you, and also I must sort of emphasise to people listening to this that the prices that we're talking about for the items. I mean, I think it was £3-4 for a wetsuit.
Yeah.
I think the shorts were £5. How much are the trousers, to give people an idea?
The trousers are about £10. I've made everything a little bit cheaper today because we're selling in person, we don't have to pay the website fees when we're selling in person. So everything. We have a wide range of prices, but I try to keep it as cheap as I can, just to make it as affordable as we can.
Well, I certainly suggest that listeners check out both of your websites. The details will be in the show notes, and I will also mention them again shortly. But thank you very much indeed for your time, and congratulations. Brilliant.
Well, thank you so much, Bob. Thank you.
So there you go, folks. Just a few people I spoke to at the National Outdoor Expo up at the NEC this weekend just gone. Most of those promo codes will only be available until the end of this week. So if you're looking for new equipment or replacement equipment on Valiant Peak and all the other companies I've mentioned, then you have a time limit. Certain companies are running it a bit longer, like Splash Maps until the end of May, Cicerone until the end of the year, but everybody else, I think, pretty well is doing it until the end of the week. So do support these small companies and do support fellow outdoor passionate people. So thanks to Jennifer there. I'm going to certainly go through my cupboard of bits. I've got odd jackets and trousers and things from many years ago which are still perfectly wearable, but I've moved on to a newer version. So I'm going to pack some stuff up and send it up to Jennifer, and hopefully it will inspire you to do something similar. Okay folks, I want to get this edited and uploaded ASAP and pass on these discount codes to as many people as possible. Please support the small UK businesses. Everybody needs a helping hand at the moment. Until next time folks, take care out there, enjoy your outdoor activity, and bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To hear or see more from our extensive free library, please visit theoutdoorstation.co.uk.